You could ask him if he used the facility for his meeting if they adjourn. As long as we're all here.
Go for it.
You stupid kid.
Smile.
End of the road. End of the second row. You get a good night's sleep.
That's Bailey. That's Sonny Bailey.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay.
Woman in the blue stripe.
Yeah. For Sonny.
Calling it a night.
3 more minutes, I'm calling it out.
How can you?
Who's 2 people missing? I'll go get them. Terry knows I will.
Take the cement truck. Schumer in Florida, I know they're not.
That don't matter. It's cost, it's gas.
You need a co-pilot?
Well, perhaps we can have a conversation and you can introduce us to the new board member.
We can do that. Off the record.
Off the record is fine. I think there are a lot of people here that have something they want to say, it appears.
Yeah, we took the time to come
Yeah,
here.
when I don't have a quorum.
So, Roger, can I ask a question
Sure,
about
go
the,
ahead.
as long as we're off the record?
Yeah.
I'm curious to know whether the town board actually voted to appoint a new board member.
No, not yet, as far as I know, we did not.
So the new board member isn't seated until the town board has openly voted to
Correct.
appoint a new member, correct?
Correct. We can't get one.
Well, we'll just appoint 2 more from here, this crowd.
Well, we can't.
Then we can start.
It's not under the purview of the planning board to do that.
He said he hasn't been appointed yet.
Right.
And he hasn't been voted.
So anyway, I'm going to cancel if we can't have it tonight.
That's 2 months meeting shop.
Yeah.
We'll make the point. I don't.
We have to have a quorum, we have to have a quorum.
Board member.
Jim Finch and Ted Hazard Justice.
Roger,
Yeah.
I must have misheard or something. What was your comment about the newly appointed member to the planning board?
They have not been officially appointed yet by the town board. The planning board does not appoint.
I realize that, but can you announce who they are?
I don't think I should until they've actually been appointed.
Well, I'm wondering why Carrie is sitting at the table.
He will eventually be an alternate member, which
Okay.
we really need an alternate, you
Alternate.
noticed tonight, yeah.
So this doesn't happen again.
Okay, so there's one.
So this is the,
So who's the
if
other?
I'm not mistaken, this is the, now the 3rd meeting you've attended in the past year.
You spoke to Bono.
I'm not sure if it's even 3. But
And the
His,
first one was after having been requested your presence by Ron Bono.
no, trying to decide on, it saddens me to see such division. And a lot of times my input, I see most of you, in the course of a month or so, and I see a lot of people, and I have a lot of, you know, people that comment and people that, you know, it's sad, so, you know, I'm looking to see how all this plays out and hopefully make it better, I hope. Because I don't, you know, I would be about as impartial as anyone, especially if it was a straw poll. So.
Apologize for being late.
So the only thing that is still confusing to me is, Roger, why don't you announce who the new member is?
Well, the town board has not made the announcement yet, and like I said, it's. the
But
town-
Mr. Bono has told you.
Oh, yes, it's Dr. Waterman.
Thank you. That's
That's what you
what,
want to know,
what's
yes.
what we're wondering. That was what the question was. Who's the new board member?
So I'm very confused, and this may be simply due to my lack of understanding of how governance works, and especially under the open meetings law. But in January, at the January 10th town board meeting, the minutes from the website prove this. The town board voted point 13.5. They voted to reappoint John Mancino for another 6-year planning board term. I see no indication in January or February, I was at the February meeting, that a new planning board member was selected in an open meeting by the town and voted on by the town. So how can there be any discussion of there even being a new appointment to the planning board if that has not been made by a vote of the town board in an open, regularly scheduled town board meeting? As far as I can tell, under the law, there should not actually be any discussion of a new appointment to the planning board because such an appointment has not been made legally and transparently in a town board meeting election.
I think that was what I was trying to say a few minutes ago, that that comes under the auspices of the town board. The planning board does not make the appointment, and they do make the appointment and the announcement, we do not.
But they would have to vote.
They would have to vote on it, yeah.
So how can there be any discussion today
There
of
can't
another
be.
member of the planning board?
Excuse me, may I interrupt you?
Yes.
Roger would rather not discuss any other planning board member. That was actually me bringing up the topic.
Okay.
Right, he was trying to say that
That's
he
what I was
didn't want
trying
to
to
say
say.
it.
Is there a certain number of meetings that like a planning board member has to make in order to stay on the planning board?
I would say yes, there is.
What is it?
There's no given figure, it's just, you know, to me, I would say you should have at least 75% of them, because in other words, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
There is a given figure that I believe it, you can't miss more than 4 meetings without a good excuse to the discretion of the planning board chair. I believe that's what it is. I
But it's
read
up to
it.
the town board to remove the person.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. But if the town board feels that you have a good excuse, they don't have to remove you.
You know, I canceled the meeting.
I
Oh.
think, Carrie, that we can explain the confusion because we're seated at the table,
Yeah.
and therefore it was,
I think,
Presume.
easy to
I think
assume.
this chair is, yeah, I don't have anything to, right, I'm not gonna blend in and, you know, I asked where to sit, there wasn't a lot of chairs, I'll sit here. It is upon, it's very clear to me that it's upon the approval of, you know, the board, and I am just, you know, an alternate, and if they say no to the alternate just steps away.
I understand that,
I'll
but
make
having
myself
been,
available.
having been Ron's selected.
I don't know, I would disagree with you on that, highly. I think that's inappropriate to say that, that would be an opinion.
Well, I know,
I know most of
I
the board
can
members.
tell you how I base that opinion.
Yes, sir.
And that is that the day after I'd asked Ron to have Mr. Hoffmeister's job because he didn't appear to be coming to the meetings, the next meeting was the one that you came to with Ron. And so that's why I'd assumed that. I have to say that assume is not a good thing
Yeah, that
to
would be an
do.
assumption. We don't operate at that level of, I mean, we are acquaintances, but not friends. I know what you're saying.
Well,
I
you know-
was disturbed prior.
In all honesty, we had a board member that had left, and I think, and I'm just speaking here, I think that they realize that we need to get our stuff together and have enough members
Yeah.
that will be here.
I appreciate
And
that.
maybe your conversation precipitated that. action to get the town board to start moving forward with finding a
I
place.
understand that, but the lack of clarity in having Carrie sitting at the table tonight
Yeah.
and not having it been announced.
You can't blame that on us. That's-
I'm not trying to blame anybody, but you are sitting
I
at
think
that
that's,
table.
I think that's a question
And
for the
so-
town board.
Well, I agree with you, but all I'm saying is that it's clear to us that, you know, you weren't trying to pull something over on us.
No.
It's
No,
just
not at
that
all.
you have to understand where the question comes from.
Yeah, and Roger, I didn't mean to put you in an awkward position, but with Carrie sitting right at the table, it's like, well, what do you mean you can't say who
I
these
think
people are?
I put it.
Can I come up and sit at the table?
Oh, you could. But no, I told Kerry when he came in, he's not been appointed, but she wants to sit at the table and listen to us, but he can't take part of
Yeah,
anything.
so it kind of opens the question then as to
Yeah.
who is the other. And I did not mean to put you in an awkward position, but it's like, you know.
Roger, do we have business to take care of? Do we reopen the meeting? I apologize for being late. For
I
some
would
reason.
reopen the meeting for, is that
Do we
okay
have-
with everybody?
Do we have business to take care of?
There's a couple things that we'd like to address, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll open the meeting now.
Yeah, and I apologize to everybody for being late. It's,
We don't have a secretary now.
no, well, I go to like 7 meetings a week, it seems like, and they're all at 7 or 7:30, and for some reason I was thinking 7:30.
I told you.
And I'm just sitting there and I go, all of a sudden, I go, oh my gosh, I gotta go.
I knew you were coming.
We'll have a digital record of the meeting.
Can I finish
We'll give
first
you-
before we?
Yeah.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes from last month?
I'll make that motion.
And my second? Approved?
All in favor?
Okay, now I'd like a motion from somebody to accept the recommendations from the Wind Committee on the proposed draft law for review for the planning board. Somebody do that?
Were the minutes read? I missed them.
No, I didn't read them because the secretary left with me.
Well,
You
They-
can't have
they- they were,
anything on the floor because you don't have anything to run it.
We can provide a digital
You don't have to have an agenda.
copy of the meeting.
Anyway, does somebody want to make a motion?
A motion for the planning board to accept
The recommendation for the proposed wind law for review.
for review. I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Everybody's in favor? Okay. That's really all I wanted to do. So now we can address your questions. That's all the business we had for tonight anyway.
So,
Yeah, Jim.
I'm sorry, just to seek some clarification. The board has now accepted the proposed wind law to review
To
it.
review it.
Okay. And the review process is, do you have kind of a described format and how you
I
guys are
think
doing
what
that?
I'm proposing is to meet with the town board in the workshop. And both address it at the same time. I mean, ultimately, it's their decision on it.
So, is there going to be open hearings?
Well, yeah,
It'll definitely be open meeting.
yes.
Yeah. But, well, no, I guess I meant more of a hearing in which individuals would have a format to give their opinion.
I imagine there would be a public hearing once it gets to the town board
Yeah.
level.
There's gotta be a public hearing even after the workshop. Go ahead.
Yeah, the next hearing, it'd be nice if somebody made sure everybody knew, because this is the first one that I knew about to come to.
This one here,
Yeah,
it's on the
Just
website.
hands and paper.
I don't get the
Not all of
paper.
us have
I don't get the
computers.
paper.
The planning board meetings are the
First
first
Wednesday of
Wednesday of
every
every
month.
month,
At 7 o'clock.
at 7 o'clock. And the town board meeting is the second Thursday of every month at 7:30.
7:30.
But I think what we need to do is, I think the rest of the members, because you and I already know the recommendations, I think the rest of the members of the board need to look at it, make their recommendations, and then we can meet with the planning, with the town board, and, open meeting, so people can be there and hear what's going on, and, present whatever recommendations that there are, and discuss it with the town board, and proceed further from there.
Okay.
Will you be meeting with the town board, just yourselves,
No, open meeting.
before an open meeting?
No, it'll be an open
It'll be
meeting.
an open meeting, it may be a workshop that wouldn't be on, but that too has to be advertised, correct?
Correct.
And it will be on the website, 10 days in advance, I think it is, isn't it, Roger?
Right.
So it'll be on the website 10 days in advance, it'll be in the Mid-York and
Dispatch.
Dispatch, I think.
Barbara, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what's the status of the windmill committee? The committee do this stuff, because I would like to know if they're gonna be able to be present through the discussions to clarify any issues that arise,
It will be an open meeting, so they can be here.
so they can participate?
Yeah. And they have not been officially dismissed yet.
Okay, right.
Nancy?
Something.
No. I didn't look by, open.
So I have two questions. The first one is, I'm wondering why the proposed law, which was sent to the planning board for review as of January 10th, was not actually accepted for review by the planning board in the February meeting, and why the planning board is only in the March meeting accepting the planning board, or the wind committee report for review at this moment. That 2 months have passed since the town board stated in the meeting that it passed that report to the planning board.
If I'm not following you. I mean, I understand why we didn't accept the wind committee's recommendation at the last meeting, because we didn't have sufficient members to, they've actually seen it, reviewed it.
So my question was actually slightly different.
Yeah, I know that.
You just said, Roger, that the planning board was hereby accepting the document, not completing its review. So why has it taken 2 entire months for the planning board to officially receive that report from the wind committee? Couldn't that have been received at the same time that it was actually passed on to the planning board by the town board, which was as of January 10th? I have the January 10th meeting minutes in my hand.
I didn't know the town board passed it on to us.
In the minutes of the town board meeting, which are online, and that's the meeting of January 10th, it says, the proposed law has been sent to the planning board for review and then will go to the town board. That's 2 months ago. There was an intervening planning board meeting in February. Where has this report and proposed law been sitting for 2 months? I have to say that as a member of the public, it feels like deliberate foot dragging. I'm sure that's a misrecognition on my part, but it feels very slow. And some of the public, I know I've been talking to my neighbors, the public has been wondering why all of this is taking so ponderously slowly. It seems to us deliberate, and it seems like the town officials may be waiting for something else to happen that the members of the public don't know about. We would ask that you act efficiently and not foot drag on this, on your review of this report.
Okay. So noted. Ellen?
Hi, just a real question. I've heard 2 words about next convenings, workshop and meeting, the board meeting. What's the workshop?
That's where we all sit down as a group and we actually start this, going through it and breaking it down and discussing all the items.
Is that public or not?
Yes, it is public.
Can we put a 30-day limit on the review process?
30-day limit. For comments maybe, but no.
So I'm going to talk again, sorry. Forgive me, please, but can we have some sense of what the timeline and trajectory for your review will be? Isn't that something that should be made publicly known?
One thing I would like to do is I want to send a survey out to all town residents. Number 1, asking their, with return postage of course, asking for their comments on the wind law and on land use regulations. Once I get that back, it tells me a lot what people are thinking.
That will not take the place of a public hearing though, will it?
No, it will
Okay.
not.
It just takes a lot of time.
I know it doesn't, that's just something extra and I want to.
Until that comes down.
Yeah, it just means it's a lot of time.
Oh, Roger, there has been a year of conversation, hearings, comments, letters. The report, the wind committee was convened as a way to